Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. I know we all just had lunch. Do I have to make you all get up and do calisthenics? Thank you, Dan. I just want to get, I walk when I talk, if you haven't already noticed. I'll invite you to ask questions throughout the presentation. I may have to kind of move things along just so we maintain our allotted time, but certainly ask questions as you like. Just a little bit about me. I started doing HECM purchases before we had HECM purchases. Does anybody remember when we used to have to do them in 2 stages? Get the person in the house and then immediately reverse them out? Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. That was very creative, but we did it, didn't we? So now that we have the purchase product, we have such an amazing opportunity to really help our seniors. And this is the whole experience with the HECM for purchase for our seniors is so interesting. We truly, truly help them with a great need. There's so many reasons why a HECM purchase might make sense for our senior clients. And if we ask the proper questions and create that trust, as you've heard about so many times in the last day or so, you're going to really understand why this is so important. Now, what is the opportunity? You already heard Sharon. Carlos has a little bit of a different opinion. Talk about how many boomers and seniors we have. We have 10,000 people in our country turning 65 years old every single day. Happy 65th birthday to 10,000 people today. The boomer senior market consists of 78 million-ish baby boomers. I gotta... That's okay, Carlos. And the baby boomer generation, what is it? 1946 to 1964. How many boomers do we have in the room? Yeah, we're talking about us. Boomers control $5.83 trillion in equity, according to NRMLA's most recent estimate. Would everybody agree that that's a substantial figure? What does this mean to your local real estate professional? And would everybody agree with me that many of the real estate professionals out there are not aware of this incredible opportunity? Who wants to be a part of that? Who said it's an understatement? Absolutely, you're 100% correct. Who wants to be a part of that and help our real estate community understand that? You want to become the local expert. And I've heard the word authority used in the last day or so, and I actually like that better. I think I'm going to change this. Become the local authority on the HECM purchase product and take advantage of this untapped market and earn the loyalty of the real estate professionals in your area. You will notice that I say real estate professionals. I don't always say realtors. Why?
They're not all professionals.
Thank you very much. No, that's not. They're not all professionals. That's not the truth. Only certain real estate professionals hold the realtor designation. Not all real estate professionals, not all real estate agents are realtors. So I'm very careful when I do the presentations. Just know your audience, know who you're talking about. And the reason I say become the local expert is I happen to live in the Baltimore, Maryland area. Am I worried about the purchase market in Topeka, Kansas? I want to be the local expert. I want to be where I can do the purchase business and talk to my real estate professionals in my local area and educate them and help them understand this product. Here's the snapshot of the equity changes that we have seen. I know it's not the clearest slide, but you can see how we reached our height before the Great Recession, and now we're on our way back up. What was that number? Who remembers that current number? 5 point what?
83.
Go Carlos.
I knew I could depend on him. That is it. So we're seeing that the equity is on an upswing, and that is, once again, creates incredible opportunity for us. U.S. seniors home equity now at $5.83 trillion. This was taken from Reverse Mortgage Daily, so it's a very recent statistic. The estimated $5.0 trillion was during the fourth quarter of 2006. So we have rebounded and we're now on an upswing. Why HECM for purchase? What does this mean to the senior buyer? Can anybody articulate what it really means when you help someone move into a new home using the HECM purchase?
Property, so the house is smaller, and they can go ahead and put some money in savings of that equity that they got, and say put 250 down on their new home. So they just got money in savings and as well of a reverse mortgage and no mortgage payment. So
And what
that's
do
a
you
benefit.
think you've done for your borrower at that point?
Well, gave them definitely financial security. And also, when you get a smaller house, the cost of everything in the house, will be lower. So
Would you
overall,
agree
it's a
that
benefit.
did everybody hear that? Because she just made a couple of really good points. Financial security, and maybe they're in a smaller property, so the living expenses are smaller. This is a huge quality of life issue. Huge. We're changing the way, we're taking the property that they did live in, we're helping them find a new property that better meets their needs, which allows them to, everybody say it, it allows them to age in place. They truly now have a home where they can age in place. We've all gotten the phone calls, and it's usually from the kids. I'm worried about mom and dad. Dad gets up on the ladder and he's cleaning out the gutters on the second story, and I'm worried about him and we don't know what to do. We have to figure something else out. Well, in our conversations, maybe they need to relocate to another property which will truly allow them to age in place. Why have we as an industry not truly capitalized on this product? Any guesses? Too complicated? What else? Who doesn't know about it? And why don't the realtors know about it? Great point. Oh, they'll listen. We're going to show you how to tell that. That gets a card.
This senior has lived in their home for 40 years, and now the thought of selling their house, they're scared.
Great point. Would you agree that educating the senior on this opportunity and helping them to understand that uprooting from their current location, is that going to be a conversation that this is not going to happen overnight, right? Correct. We have to get them to understand the benefits and see if this is something that's of interest to them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had to educate the realtor. You wouldn't let me buy a house with the reverse. I said, well, then I'll find another agent.
Okay, how many Starbucks cards can I give you? That's exactly right. Well, we're going to talk about how we're going to educate not only the real estate community, but others, and you're going to see how this will work. When you structure the transaction, we all know the various options that we have. It can be a fixed rate. It can be an ARM. We can overfund the transaction. Dan's financial planner strategy, which is great. We just heard him talk about that in the last segment. Let's talk about the real estate contract. What is the most important date in the real estate contract? What is the most important, I'm sorry? What is the most important date in the contract? The contract financing date. Every contract stipulates that the loan, the financing, whatever financing the borrower is putting in place, must be obtained by a certain date. Think about what a hero you look like if you teach your realtors about this date. Because now, think about what happens if we meet that contract approval, that financing approval date. We've probably still got another 10 days till closing. What are we doing then? We're kicking back and letting everybody else do what they need to do. But we've got our loan approval. Our borrower knows that they're going to go to settlement on time, barring something that we have no control over. Does that make sense? Do you think that's a good idea? Every contract has a date by which the borrower needs to have obtained their financing. So look in your different state contracts. There's got to be a financing clause if the borrower is getting financing. So financing contingency, yes. And in different states, it's called different things. So look at your contract. But think about that. If we hit that date while everybody else is scrambling and saying we can't meet the closing date, we don't care because we've met our financing approval date. Now everything else will fall into place and everybody loves us. Do you all agree? Does it make sense? I'm sensing a question. Go ahead.
When we get that date satisfied, isn't it normally the loan approval with conditions?
Well, if we can tell the borrower, if we can issue a loan approval, and yes, there may be some conditions, of course, but the fact is that we are hitting that contract approval date as opposed to everybody else who's saying, well, they're closing in 2 weeks, so I'll get the loan approved then. No, we want to have our loans approved way, way ahead of time.
So, Sue, with traditional loans nowadays, the pre-approval or approvals are done a lot sooner. They're done even before they go under contract many times.
Right.
And they have to be pretty solid approvals pending appraisal. So a lot of problems with the realtors and reverses is that we don't issue those with reverses. We don't issue pre-approvals with reverses. So, you know, they're used to having it a lot sooner than with us, you know, so it's kind of, that's a given that they would have had that approval date before.
Do you want to take that? Go ahead.
So we are building a pathway. We've dripped a little bit of information to you already about the pathways. Let me be your Vanna. Oh, you be my Vanna.
Yes.
Okay, so this is almost complete. I say not quite because what's missing is the resources to find your folks and the collateral that we will build as a team. However, what is inside this binder is a pre-qual letter for reverse purchase.
Do you find that helpful? We have to educate them.
I mean, I know it's not a question, I mean, they've been through it on the forward side forever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not interested in the pre-qual, they're interested in the pre-approval.
I have a question. When a
Sure.
realtor comes to us and says, can we please list the contingency? Are they talking about the finance contingency?
Yes, yes.
So
Well,
they're
unless they have
basically
a home to
asking
sell,
us if
unless
the
they have
loan's
Unless they have a
approved.
sale contingency.
So they're calling me, asking me, can we please lift the contingency? We need to lift contingencies. So,
They need to be specific about what they're asking for. That's actually a great question.
so if they say, okay, are we good? Are we ready? They're asking us to lift the contingency. So they must be speaking of the finance contingency. So we can't say yes until we get that funded, right? Or
No,
not
until we
funded,
get-
clear to close.
Until we get it approved, we can issue an approval, and we need to, actually, that's a great question. We need to talk about that. But, so just think about that. We're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of our competition, because while everybody else is trying to hit contract closing date or escrow date, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have our loans approved ahead of time, and we're going to show you how to do that. And become the expert in this product. Why is that crucial, and why am I the expert? You need to become the authority on the reverse, on the HECM purchase. We have several resources at your disposal. One of them is going to be the pathway. Dan has some phenomenal training. Has everybody taken Dan's HECM purchase training? If you haven't, please get on there. There's going to be additional training coming up. And one of the things that we're going to roll out is going to be a HECM for Purchase mastermind group. Does anybody think that that would be of benefit? I'm going to talk a little bit about how that's going to be structured, but if that's something that you're interested in, see me before the end of the summit. First of all, you want to define your market area. Assess the opportunity, and there's a website. We've included some resources here in the presentation. You can go to 55places.com. That will show you the senior housing places that are available. And once again, look in your area. And how are you going to effectively market yourself and this product? And remember, folks, this is just one segment of your overall market plan, correct? I'm not saying that everybody's going to do HECM purchase and nothing else. This is just one segment, but the opportunity is unbelievable, and I think we can really capture this. Who do you want to reach? My first suggestion is think about, and everybody think about this when you get back to your offices, make a list of your current business contacts. Who are the people that are your referral partners that are already sending you business? Talk to them about who the real estate agents are in the area that they like and they like to work with. Get those warm introductions. That's the easy part. Ask your referral partner to connect you with those folks. Also, find the realtors in your area who hold the SRES designation, seniors with an S, realestate.com. You can go and find the people in your area. These are folks who have already raised their hand. They've taken additional training to earn the SRES designation. Everybody should be able to do that very easily. Get in touch with those realtors. Who is currently listing properties in the 55 and over communities? Go find those people. Look for listings in the 55 and over communities in your area. Drive around and go to an open house. Introduce yourself to those folks. Once again, you already know that they want to deal with seniors. They would want to know about the HECM for purchase. Help them with their listings. And we talked a little bit about builders in one of the previous segments. We're going to have some additional information on how to approach the builders. I know there's been a couple of people that have approached me over the last day or so that have said they want more information and more programs on approaching the builders, and we're going to be working on that. If you don't have realtor connections already, go ahead and use the website up there, realtor.org, and find some realtors in your area. What realtors do you want to work with? Besides someone who holds the SRES designation, who said it? Good idea. Plenty of agents in one office. There's probably a lot of competition in that office. And remember, we are there to help them build their business. Do I want the agent at the very top who's too busy to talk to me? Do I want the agent at the bottom who sits around and does nothing all year long? For me personally, I like to find that agent that's kind of in the middle. They're doing a good business, they're professional, they conduct themselves appropriately, and remember we learned yesterday, we like to work with people who think like we do, and people that we like and trust. I don't need to work with every realtor. I want to work with the people who want to work with me. And I'm going to show you how you're going to turn the tables in a little bit, and we're not going to be the ones begging for business. Membership has its benefits. I've listed up here a number of organizations that you might want to consider membership in. Go to your local board of realtors and become an affiliate member. Don't just become a member. Get on a committee, do some work. Let the realtors in that organization see you working on committees and being involved in helping them. Your local home builders association, for anybody who wants to work with builders, go to your local home builders association, start attending those meetings. Most of them have monthly meetings. Once again, get on a committee, do some work, meet the folks, and use your membership. Take advantage of that. The Women's Council of Realtors, not just for women, lots of gentlemen members as well. That is a national organization. I've been a member for many, many years now. I've actually made some great friends who are Women's Council of Realtor members because of the result of us working together over the years, and we've gotten to know each other. Financial planning groups. We've talked about how we're going to be speaking to the financial planners about the HECM for purchase. So I don't know if you can you read those, or I know the print's a little bit small.
Just a reminder, this whole presentation, including the recorded session, will be uploaded on the desk, so you'll have access to all these links.
So yeah, and then other industry, other trade and industry groups. Yesterday, I don't recall who it was, I apologize. Somebody talked about going and talking to roofers. Great, yeah, don't just think about that specific industry, think a little bit outside the box. This is not necessarily a HECM for purchase tip, but home improvement contractors, the local handyman doing repairs in people's homes, go find those folks and talk to them. And bring value to the group. You're not just a member, you're offering your expertise. So as I say, when you get into the group, offer to do some presentations, have collateral with you, bring some handouts with you when you go to meetings, do one-on-one meetings with the members that are there, once again, the people that you feel like you want to work with, offer to do workshops. All of these organizations are constantly looking to bring their members content. They want members to show up at the meeting. How do they do that? By offering good presentations. So let's offer them a good presentation. And this thing kind of went crazy there. Now, who are we going to do presentations to? Let's talk about presentations, and we're going to talk about them in a couple of different ways. First of all, realtors, builders, to the public. Remember I said we're going to show you how to turn the tables? How about a presentation to the public on HECM for purchase? Financial planners, and not just live. If you're not comfortable speaking in front of a room, there are lots of other options and lots of other ways to get this information out. Are y'all with me? Do we need to take a stretch? I know it's after lunch. Everybody, oh, Dan just jumped up. Stand and take a stretch if you need to. The title of the class that I do for the real estate professionals is called Reverse Mortgages for Real Estate Professionals. I've been doing this for a number of years. And I'll be honest with you, when I first started doing it, I think people just came in the room out of curiosity. They really didn't care about a reverse mortgage. They just kind of wandered in to see what it was all about. And the interesting thing is when I did this presentation, I started noticing that after the class, the realtors were coming up to me because they wanted to do a reverse. Anybody else had that experience? Yeah, absolutely. They're coming to get the education credits, but I guarantee you somebody will wander up after the class is done and say, you know what, that was really good information. Can you help me out? Or I really came because my aunt might need this. So think about, once again, got a room full of people, you're going to be giving this information. Why is it so important to offer this class, and how does it set you apart? How does it set you apart when you are in front of a room doing a presentation? Absolutely. Thank you, you're the authority. Yes, think about that. When you're in front of the room, you're just not somebody out there begging for business. You're standing in front of the room, you're sharing your knowledge, and the people in that room are going to appreciate it. It sets a higher bar. You're not just a loan originator out there begging for business. We've truly become a partner helping the real estate community. And how do you offer the class? Several different ways. Live in the real estate offices, the Board of Realtors. How about a community center? If they say, oh, you know what, we don't really know if we want you to come to the board, that's okay. If they tell me no, I'm going to go find somewhere else to have it because I know people will come. Community center, library. Has anybody ever done a class at the community college? Yeah. Great strategy. Excellent, great strategy. Think about this. A lot of colleges now have what's called lifelong learning, and they have courses that are geared specifically to seniors. A variety of topics, lifestyle types of things, travel, foreign languages, anything you could possibly think of. The community colleges and the local colleges are putting these kind of programs together. Think about if you might possibly put together a series of classes just on retirement strategies. You might offer the course, you might write the course, submit it to the community college, and now you can invite other professionals to come to the class and be presenters. Yes?
In Texas, realtors have to always have a financial update. And I used to teach that class, and I loved it because I would spend a lot of time on the reverse mortgages. So.
Excellent. Did you hear that? That's a great strategy. In Texas, realtors have to have financial update every year. My guess is that most states probably have something similar. Offer to be a part of that. You might not speak to the forward piece, get somebody on the forward side to team up with you and go do those classes. Once again, if you're not comfortable standing in front of the room, think about webinars, live or pre-recorded. There's all different kinds of ways to reach out to folks, and that's what we want to help you do. Podcasts, standalone podcast or a series. What if you offered the public or your real estate professionals a series of podcasts or webinars? Lunch and Learn, and we had a great presentation yesterday on social media. Absolutely incorporate social media into this outreach to your real estate and your other professionals. Once you've started to build those relationships, you want to keep it going. You want to keep in contact. You want a reason to keep in contact with these folks. Offer to write for their newsletter. Offer to give updates at office meetings or regional meetings. Every year in Maryland, all of the realtors gather in Ocean City. I don't know why they just go to Ocean City. I guess it's a good place to have a conference. So I always offer to speak there because they get a lot of attendance, and I know that all the realtors from Maryland are going to try to at least swing by that conference, and I want to be there. I want to be the one presenting. And then follow up. Don't let them forget you. And that's where things like social media and other strategies can come in and cement that relationship. Financial planners, we've heard Dan touch on that, and we're going to hear more about that this afternoon, right, Dan? The realtor community, the HECM presentation for financial professionals, completely different approach. The overview of the HECM product with emphasis on the purchase benefits. It's going to be a different conversation that you're going to have with the financial professionals. Has anybody done continuing ed for any financial planning groups? Excellent. Anybody besides Carlos? Absolutely, thank you. Absolutely look into that if that's something that you want to pursue. And once again, where can you do these? In their office, community college, or some other local setting. Webinar series, podcasts. I forgot to mention YouTube videos. Put the information out there and make it your own. Providing ongoing updates on products and options. Dan, would you agree that to the financial planner, that's going to be an important piece? They're going to want, they want to be kept informed on changing guidelines and things so that they can appropriately make recommendations to their clients. HECM for purchase for the senior or the boomer buyer. How would you like to get to the client first? Would that be of interest to you? How about offering seminars at the community college, at the library, at some other local community setting where you educate the buyer first? Now what have you done? Come on, say it, you know. You now have a buyer that you can refer to one of your top realtors. I'm no longer going to somebody asking for their business. I'm truly a partner. I'm saying, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I now have a group of buyers that have already raised their hand and shown interest in the HECM purchase. I'm looking for some realtors for them to work with. Would you be interested? Who could do that? Every single person raise your hand. Absolutely, everybody could do that. You are now a resource. And once again, any of these settings, I really urge everybody to look into the community colleges because they will welcome you with open arms. They are always looking to add course content to what they have. So they would be very anxious to hear from you. And then, like I say, incorporate some of your other referral partners in as professionals. Let's talk about some purchase collateral. Some new marketing pieces are going to be created in addition to what we already have. We've touched a little bit on this, and you heard Sharon mention that the reverse mortgage marketing group is going to launch in mid-April, so we will be putting together some additional HECM for purchase presentations. There will be a PowerPoint, and in here, in the pathway, Dan has put together, this is actually going to be a great resource, guys. Dan has put together a PowerPoint that you will be able to take and get approved for continuing ed. How great is that? It's already pre-done for you. Everybody give Dan a hand right now. Everybody.
We're going to pass this around. Please don't put it in your purse.
Nope.
It's the only one we brought with us, and you'll get yours later.
Sharon's not going to let anybody out the door without checking to see if you're not carrying that booklet. But it's going to be a great resource. You can go and take that outline, take it to your real estate association, ask them what their criteria is to get the course approved. And I'll just let you know, if you haven't done this before, every state has their own criteria. I got approved to teach in Maryland. They went through my outline with a fine-tooth comb. They didn't care so much about me. They wanted to see the content. Delaware, they didn't care what I was talking about. They wanted to make sure that I had the credentials to speak before their group. So it's just go with whatever the state says, we give it to them. Ask them what they want and give it to them. Carlos?
Don't worry about your state and C credits. I had a 3-hour class that was approved in the state of California. I found that 3-hour class was much more difficult to get the realtors to. I dropped it to a 1-hour class, didn't offer C credit, and I teach twice a year at the association. We probably have about 20 to 25 people within my class each time. So it's nice again to put that together to get it. Don't worry about just having CD credit. The information is valuable to them. You just have to show how to work it.
There's two sides to that story.
Okay.
I lived in California, and in fact, I've been a licensed broker for many years now. I hold the SRES.
Yay.
So, in California, you can sit down and do 45 hours overnight. Or in Arizona, you must be in a classroom. Must attend a class for 45 hours. So it's a whole different world when they have to get those 3 hours in class. So again, in California, I agree. It's better. In Arizona, you have to give the hours.
That's an excellent point. Did everybody hear that? You have to know the regulations in your state where you want to teach. Dan?
Some of the states are going to require exams. We have the
Yes.
exam questions already built into that.
Yeah, this includes the exams. So if your state does include the exam, you've got it to give. Some of you may just want to build a few questions in as knowledge checks, just to gauge that the audience is following you and understanding. But that's all built in there. It's all done for you. I love done for you.
To Carlos's point, a lot of the people that will come to attend to get the credits have no interest whatsoever in really what you're talking about. They just want to get the credits. But if they come to a 1-hour presentation specifically to help them learn how to do more business than they're doing, they're meaningful clients to be talking to.
It's also a violation to do the class and offer it for free. If you're giving CE credit, almost everybody out there doesn't realize that they're putting their association, their realtor, and themselves in jeopardy for liability. So there's a lot of reasons why you might not offer the CE credit.
I'll respectfully disagree with that. They're not interested in the information when they come in. If you do the class right, when you're done, you have won them over. So it's all about how you present. Oh, and I almost forgot the most important thing. Every time you speak, every single time, I want a commitment from everybody in here. You record, you're gonna love this. You record it and you videotape it. Get a friend to come that has a decent camera and record yourself presenting to audiences and audio record it. Why? Well, number one, yes, to get better, absolutely. I used to walk around my house practicing my presentation. I had 2 teenagers, so nobody was listening to me anyway. So I just walked around the house. But why else? Why else? Social media, you're going to put it up on your website. You're going to use it in social media. Now, a whole different audience is seeing you presenting and speaking to a group of professionals. So keep that in mind. Everything you do gets audio and video recording whenever possible. Like I said, have a friend come that has a decent camera or even a decent camera on their phone now and have them just record you speaking or even take a few still shots of you doing your presentation. Wonders. That's real credibility. Yes, Dan?
And get their email address, now they're on your newsletter.
I'm sorry?
Get their email address, because now they're on your newsletter as well.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Dan. Thank you. See, he's so brilliant.
While they're in the class, I would like your social media.
Yeah, they need to like it.
Absolutely. So thank you. You guys are awesome. So if you're interested in being part of the Heckam for Purchase Mastermind group, this has just been a really high level overview of everything that we can do. There's so many more things. I told Sharon, my manager, when I started in reverse, used to say the problem isn't getting Sue to talk about reverse, the problem is getting her to shut up. So we could talk about Heckam for Purchase. I love the program and it works so well, and I guarantee you will gain loyal referral partners when you do this properly. But if you're interested in hearing more about the Heckam for Purchase Mastermind group, give me your card and just write H for P on the back and just hand it to me before we leave. We are going to limit the number of people in this group. Sharon's telling me we're going to limit it to 10. She made that decision for me. Oh, 10 minutes? Okay, sorry. I thought we were going to only let 10 people in. So, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you. Any questions from the group right now? Oh, come on.
You mentioned with realtors, this is just an experience. I did several presentations at our board for the Tuesday MLSBs. in our town, before I moved, there were 4 Realtor Emeritus, which is 40 years in the business, but 3 of the 4 have done a reverse mortgage. So don't be fooled by this really successful people. Realtors don't say it. Sorry to say it.
And you have testimonials from all these folks, right?
Well, it's kind of interesting. They want to hide. One guy took the loan and closed it up the hill, about 40 miles away, because he didn't want anybody in town to know. I said, why not?
Do you,
Lots of people don't be fooled by success.
that is a great, did you hear the point he just made? That was actually really good. The realtor who did the reverse didn't want anybody to know. Does anybody see that changing? No. Oh, I do. I find, do you? Do you, Linda? Yeah, I find that people are actually pleased to share with their friends and family and other folks that they know.
I told my borrowers that I closed to please consider writing up their experience with me on Reach 150. And I said, you don't have to give your full name. You could just say a happy customer or a child of a customer. But they've all put their picture and their name. They at least put their full name. And I said, you realize I'm going to be sharing this out to the world, and they still put their full name. So
I agree 100%. I think the days of the people being embarrassed, anybody who's been in this business for a while, you remember when when they got mail, they didn't want it to say anything to do with reverse mortgage on the envelope, right? Who remembers that? If you're sending me something, don't you dare put reverse mortgage on that outer envelope, because they didn't even want the postman to know that they were getting reverse mortgage information. Now it's a completely different story. They're proud that they've made such an outstanding decision. They've worked all their lives. Think about these folks that have worked for 30, 40 years to build this equity in their home, and we are able to help them enjoy their retirement. I don't know about anybody else. I am so proud and thrilled to be a part of the reverse mortgage product, and this is just one more opportunity that we have.
You know, it helps if you've done a reverse mortgage for like a financial planner. I always tell them, I just did a reverse mortgage for a financial planner. And they just go, you know, they lean in, like, tell me more.
Absolutely. Use her point is to talk to your professionals that you're introducing yourself to, share your experiences with others who have referred the reverse mortgage to you and how pleased they were, and get those written testimonials. They will give them to you if we ask. Sometimes I feel like we forget to ask. I'm actually really bad at that. But I need to work on that. Any other questions? Who thinks they're going to use the HECM for Purchase to build their business in the coming year? Who doesn't? Good. All right, thanks very much. I'll be around if anybody has any questions.